in this program.
How do corporate rights compare to, or corporate personhood, how does it relate to human rights?
What you see, ironically, is that most often an assertion of corporate rights as part of this new corporate civil rights movement acts directly against human rights. So again, to review just some of the cases, in the living wage challenges, which we're seeing not only in Seattle but also in Los Angeles, when the corporation is asserting an equal protection clause right to not pay the living wage on the same schedule that they would be required to by the law, that goes against the human rights of the workers to receive that living wage on which they can feed their families. When Monsanto and other grocery manufacturers are asserting a First Amendment right not to reveal what products they are selling that contain genetically engineered ingredients, that violates the rights of Vermont consumers who want to know that information. And when you see the National Association of Manufacturers challenging a federal law that requires them to disclose whether their products contain minerals that come from the Democratic Republic of Congo, because again, they don't want to speak about it, that has a direct impact on the lives of people who live in Africa who are being harmed by the ongoing conflict and by the minerals trade that fuels the militias. So when you see a corporation asserting a constitutional right, whether it be in the case of Hobby Lobby with the shareholders asserting a right that acts to the detriment of their employees, or in any of these other cases we've discussed, it's usually to the detriment of people.
What about that, Ken Greenfield, the inverse relationship between human rights and corporate rights?
Right. I agree that corporate accountability is a problem, that corporate power is a problem, that there's often a tension between human rights and corporate rights. And I've spent my career trying to craft solutions to that problem within corporate governance. And I think that's where progressive efforts should be aimed, not toward constitutional amendments, which in the end would do little to address the real problems. I think the real problems come from the fact that corporations are managed and structured to further the interest of the managerial and financial elite. And how to make corporations more accountable, more attuned to issues of human rights and the like, is to make corporations themselves more democratic, to make the corporate governance, to make boards of directors attuned to interests of all stakeholders, to interests of society. I think I would put employees on the boards of directors of companies. And this is something that works in Europe. We know that it works there. Germany, where half of the board of directors of every major company, Siemens, VW, what have you, are populated by worker representatives. The economy is doing well. These companies are doing well, and they are seen as much more pluralistic and much more attentive to the needs of all their stakeholders. And we here in the United States have this blind spot when it comes to corporations. We think that they are in service of shareholders, and Ron Fine and others, and with whom I've worked for a long time, all recognize that the core problem here is corporate power. We simply disagree about how to address it. I think to go to the heart of how corporations are managed is the real remedy.
Well, I want to thank you both for being with us. It's a conversation we will continue.